Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. My name is Monique, and this is my second tarot channel here on YouTube. Thank you guys all so much for your continued love and support here on the channel. I do have channel memberships available. There are 2 tiers. For those of you that are wanting access to exclusive members-only pick your card readings, I do suggest joining the tier labeled Starborn. You may need to log into YouTube using your desktop or PC in order for you to see the full functionality of YouTube, in order to, choose which tier you want. I know that there are some issues with using mobile devices to try to do that. So that is the workaround for now until YouTube does get that fixed. Okay, so first of all, happy Halloween for those of you that are celebrating today. We're going to be doing a reading today that I want you guys to be able to use for different types of situations, no matter what it is that you do have going on in your life. And you can certainly choose a different pile for a different situation. Our topic today is, are you viewing this situation clearly? Okay, so are you viewing this situation clearly? It doesn't matter, any type of situation that you do have in your mind that maybe you're feeling confused by or struggling with, and maybe kind of questioning, like, am I seeing this clearly? Am I confused? Is my judgment clouded? So that's what our topic is today. Now, instead of using crystals today, I was trying to find like orange and black and, more Halloween colors, but I was not finding ones that I liked out of my out of my crystals. So today we're going to use these little erasers that I found, I think, a couple years ago. So pile 1 is going to be this little cat. Okay. Pile 2 is going to be this skeleton. And then pile number 3 is going to be this pumpkin. So are you viewing this situation clearly? We're also going to be adding in one of these cards to help you with making your selection. And so after we look at that, your tarot, we'll also be getting some advice from Spirit, maybe to help you, especially for those of you where the energy is coming through that you may not be seeing it clearly. Well, we're going to do advice for every pile regardless. Okay, so like I said, if you have different types of situations going on in your life, no matter what they're about, career, money, relationship stuff, family stuff, any type of situation, just kind of apply the guidance to how it resonates most to your situation, okay? If you feel like whatever's coming through doesn't fit at all, I would suggest choosing a different pile. So pile 1, are you viewing this situation clearly? This situation on your mind, are you viewing this situation clearly? So we're going to put them face down for just a moment. Pile 2, are you viewing this situation clearly? Pile 2. This situation on your mind, are you viewing this situation clearly? Actually, I want to take this one. Pile 3, are you viewing this situation clearly? Okay, so let's see what we've got. Pile 1, we have card number 6, Second Spring. And that is going to be with your little cat here. For pile 1. Pile 2, we have number 11, Possum Faerie. And that is with your little skeleton. And pile 3, we have number 38, Pumpkin Thief. And here is your pumpkin. All right, so those are the options for today. Are you viewing this situation clearly? Like I said, if you feel drawn to more than one pile or you want to use each pile for a different situation you have on your mind, you're more than welcome to do so. Timestamps will be down below for you guys, and I will see you at your reading. Hi, pile 1. So those of you that resonated with card number 6, Second Spring, and the little cat, this is going to be your reading today. So we are finding out, are you viewing this situation clearly? So whatever situation it is that you do have on your mind, are you viewing this situation clearly? So let's see, is pile 1 viewing their situation on their mind clearly? We have the Fool. We have the Judgment card. I'll say number 20. It is a number 20, but it is the Judgment card, which in this deck it's renamed to Discretion. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Is pile 1 viewing this situation clearly? We have the Six of Swords. Queen and King of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. And Justice. Okay. Okay, so what I'm looking at here, it kind of looks like what Spirit's showing to me is that with whatever this situation is, that there may have been a period of time where you may not have initially been viewing this situation clearly, because I am seeing the Five of Swords energy here, but then we also have the Six of Swords here. So it kind of looks like you are moving past this period where you may not have been seeing it clearly. But there's been a shift in your energy to a much more grounded and balanced energy. So I feel like you could be coming out of that place where there may have been some conflict with the way in which, yes, you were viewing it, but you're shifting away from this. And that may mean that you're kind of reflecting back on how you may have been looking at it. Like you may have actually realized like, ooh, I was looking at this with this type of mentality or this type of mindset. And so I feel like you're in a much better headspace to acknowledge where you may have been looking at it a certain way, into kind of shifting and releasing these old patterns, let's just say, and shifting into a more balanced energy. And I love that you have Justice here too, because Justice is about, you know, treating a situation fairly. And like I said, I kind of feel like maybe in the past, you weren't thinking that way, but there's been a shift in energy here. So I think you've moved into a place where you can see things a lot clearer than maybe you had in the past. Because with the Five of Swords energy here, this can be when we're kind of looking at things from a very challenging energy. The Five of Swords can have a lot of different meanings. It can be trust issues. There could be betrayal wounds there. We could be very being confrontational about something, or even on the defense with something that's going on. You know, sometimes the Five of Swords can talk about drama and negativity, or even for those of you that have gone through past situations where you've been really hurt by somebody. And I feel like you may have been coming from that place before where, you know, whatever the situation was. I mean, this could even go into being abused or bullied in some way, or feeling defeated and kind of dealing with self-sabotaging thoughts. But like I said, I feel like you've had an awareness of this energy and have shifted away from it. So I feel like you're actually, there's this movement into the Six of Swords, which is about moving towards calmer waters, which means, and also I will say this too, this little monster here that's coming out of the water has kind of like lifted and elevated the boat with the people in it. And the Six of Swords here, this little person with the, I don't know if they're pointing their finger or if they got a little sword there, maybe like where they're directing forward. So it's, you know, I'm kind of seeing this as symbolic of you coming out of that, out of the situation to see it from a higher perspective. And now kind of with the Justice card here, it's kind of like you could be seeing things from two different perspectives. You could be seeing, like, if there's other people involved, like especially with your situation here, the Justice card is about fairness, balance, equality. So it could be that you're kind of seeing things from not just your, you know, opinion and your perspective. You could even be changing to see like another person's perspective and saying, okay, well, you know, I can see it from this side. I can see it from this side. So it's kind of like you kind of, you know, standing in your own truth, I feel like, with what your truth is, but it's also, you can then see another's truth, you know, or if this is solely a situation that has to do with just you and you alone, it's kind of like you are acknowledging where in the past you may have had some limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging thoughts, but it's also acknowledging it, recognizing it, and say, okay, you know what? No, I can't keep thinking like this or viewing situations from this type of perspective because it's messing me up in terms of my thought process, and I can't see things clearly like this. I need to take a step back and kind of see things from a whole new fresh perspective, which is, you know, the Fool energy is the new, something new. And then with the Wheel of Fortune is kind of shifting into a beautiful positive direction. So like I said, I feel like maybe once upon a time, maybe in the past, maybe this is something you're currently going through right now. But with us also having the Queen and the King of Pentacles here, this is very grounded energy that's secure, it's stable, which is a good thing. Okay, so that's where we're at with that. The second spring here, I want to see what this is about for you. Okay, it says, find the unique beauty in this stage of your life. Turn over a new leaf. Be delighted and surprised by this transformation into a wiser, more masterful, and authentic you. And I feel like that's actually what's happening here. It says the fall fairy in this image embodies the Albert Camus quote, "Autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower." Her monarch butterfly wings indicate that she was a caterpillar fairy in the spring and summer of her life, crawling around in the dirt. Then she went through a confusing ordeal involving a cocoon, darkness, and excruciating pain. Now, at long last, she has emerged into the luminous colors of autumn. To top it all off, she has wings now and she can fly. Like autumn leaves and butterfly wings, every new stage has its own fabulous charm. Youth has its pleasures, but so does age. The sun is dazzling, but so is the moon. A bright new morning is a joy, but so is the golden splendor of the late afternoon. Recognize that you have wisdom, abilities, and opportunities now that you have not possessed in the past. It is easier for you to be kind to yourself now, for example, and to let yourself rest and take breaks so you can recharge and later emerge refreshed. You can take a longer view and access a more complete perspective now than you previously could. I love that. How can you draw upon these changes to maximize your joy? It may be time to initiate a new project or direction, even if you previously believed it's too late for such an endeavor. In fact, if there's something your heart of hearts wants to try, now is the perfect time. For now you possess greater wisdom and mastery than ever before, even though you must say goodbye to the past, which is happening with the Judgment card. There is a brand new present to say hello to, which will unfold like butterfly wings and carry you up and away into the gorgeous autumn sky. That is beautiful. Okay, so because this is a general reading, I do have to, let you guys know that I feel for the most part, those of you that chose this pile, you've already acknowledged this energy of thinking in this certain way. But those of you that are kind of in this state of transition, it could be that you are now recognizing where there could be some, challenging thoughts that are kind of coming in. And I feel like the important step about this is acknowledging it, right? Being self-aware of our thinking so that we can begin to start to shift it and change it. Sometimes we don't realize that we're thinking negative, or that we have a toxic way of repeating past patterns of behavior because of previous situations. Like let's use this example. Let's just say that with this Five of Swords energy, you were betrayed by a best friend in the past, and this friend lied to you and really deceived you and really hurt you. And then you have a new friend come in, and this new friend is trying to get closer to you, and you're kind of looking at this friend like, no, I don't trust you. I don't trust anything you have to say. I feel like you're using me. I feel like you're lying to me. And that is us coming from and seeing a distorted view of that new person, right? So we could be and have that tendency because of previous situations where we're on the defense and we're guarded because we don't want to get hurt again. So some of you could very well, be here. But like I said, there's this shift of energy. There could certainly be this awareness where you're kind of taking some time to say, okay, I'm being more self-aware. I recognize where I do have this pattern where I keep going back to this way of thinking, but now I'm aware of it and I'm going to change it. Okay, so some of you that could be kind of coming out of this know that there's this beautiful shift of energy for you, where if you are in this space right now, you are going to be seeing things clearly. So that is a positive for you. Okay, so I want to get some advice for you, but I feel like you guys are good with this energy. But let's just see what Spirit's advice is. What is your advice? What is your advice? Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So the Seven of Pentacles is more or less going to be about you taking some time to pause, to reflect, to reassess, reevaluate, whatever this situation is. We do have the Nine of Pentacles energy here, which is, I feel like this is also you remaining confident in yourself, feeling secure in yourself, stabilizing, grounding your energy so that when you are, right, reviewing a situation, that you know that you're coming from that grounded and balanced place. So continuing to do that in all areas of your life, whenever you have to make a decision or you're feeling confused about something, the more that we can ground our energy, we know, right, that we're thinking and our thoughts are grounded in reality. We're thinking clearly, and we're aware when we might have, certain fears come in that are creating confusion or doubt in our mind. The more grounded that we can feel, the more likely we are going to be, keeping our perspective clear of anything that could be kind of coming in and distorting that. So that is an important piece for you. What is your advice here? The Hangman. Yes. So the Hangman is about, sometimes we need to take a step back. you know, from a situation, so that we are able to receive that insight, that enlightenment, and maybe even a shift of perspective. You know, so if we're kind of feeling, okay, the way that I'm looking at the situation, it looks like it's all just mixed up and crazy in my mind, and I'm overthinking, and it just doesn't feel good. Take a step back, right? Pause. Maybe go for a walk, right? Spend some time in nature, grounding, so that we can kind of come back into it and feel more settled and more peace and calm within ourselves, to be able to see it now from that shift of perspective here. Okay. All right. So that is all that I have for you, pile 1. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 2. So those of you that resonate with number 11, the Possum, Fairy, and the Skeleton, this is going to be your reading today. So we're going to first look at your tarot, and then we'll see how this message is connecting in. So we're asking Spirit today, are you viewing this situation clearly? And then be getting some advice for you. Are you viewing this situation on your mind clearly? Are you viewing this situation on your mind clearly, pile 2? Knight of Swords in reverse. The Moon. The Strength card. Three of Swords. The Magician. Judgment in reverse. I'm going to say no already. Okay, some of you, this might have to do with a romantic situation. Eight of Wands. Five of Wands is at the bottom. So yeah, I'm going to stick with no. And we're going to talk about why. But the Five of Wands, you know, again, for you guys, this is the general reading. So this could be a situation that is on your mind that solely has to do with you and you alone. And this might also have to do with other people for some of you. The Five of Wands is about conflict. And it could be that there's conflict with another person, or you might be feeling this conflict within yourself. Maybe your own ideas, your own beliefs, your own, you know. The Three of Swords also has to do with emotional turmoil, pain, suffering, heartbreak. And then we also have the Moon energy here, which has to do with confusion, illusion, sometimes delusion if we let it go a little bit too far. It can talk about us having clouded judgment or not being able to perceive things clearly. We also have Judgment, which in this deck it's renamed to Discretion, but we have Judgment in reverse. Judgment in reverse is when we are ignoring the signs. Okay, that maybe our intuition is trying to give to us. We're confusing them, or they're distorted. The Moon is also very deceptive energy. It can be telling us that all is not as it seems. We might be seeing something one way, and it's really not that way. There could also be a lot of ego that's involved here, and this would be more or less an unhealthy aspect of the ego that could be inserting fears, insecurities, things of that nature that you might have subconsciously. Now, the Knight of Swords energy in reverse is more or less going to be those racing thoughts that could be clouding our mind, okay? And with the Moon energy present here, with the Magician, this is making me think that it's kind of casting more of a shadow energy with the Magician, which could certainly be deception, okay? So what I want to say here, the Eight of Wands is also about energy that is in motion, meaning that this is present energy that's kind of going on here, circulating, that could be creating a lot of things being a little distorted here. What else do I want to say? there could be certain fears that are coming in that Spirit is kind of like saying that we need to kind of slow down a little bit and ground ourselves, because our mind can also be racing and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking so much that it can be making us feel so confused. And we might have those moments of like clarity where like, okay, well, maybe it's this way. And then in comes the fears and insecurities, and anxiety. And that's just kind of putting this fog over it. So I want to read your possum fairy here, and we are going to be getting some advice for you. But for one thing I would say, looking at this, is that, especially with the magician being here, because this also has to do with focused intention. So I feel like Spirit's saying you could be focusing a lot of your energy on a lot of fears. You could be directing your energy towards the negative, like worst case scenario, fear-based thinking, and having a hard time getting grounded. And sometimes overcoming the insecurities and fears that sometimes the ego can kind of bring in. So let's look at the possum fairy. Okay, so it says, look beyond the popular, conventional, and mainstream. Open your mind, dare to be different, and choose your allies according to your inner compass. Befriend the marginalized and the unfairly maligned. Adorable, platinum-furred, pink-nosed possums are gentle, loyal, and kind. While many loathe and fear possums, the fairy in this image is their champion, and she receives great benefits from tending to the alliance she nurtures with her nocturnal tribe. You are being called to stand up for an underdog or defend an ostracized group. It may be time to sing the praises of a previously unsung hero or publicly own your less popular opinions or traits. Alternatively, this could be a message to let your silver hair grow out, to embrace your hair's inherent texture, to love your curves, to treasure your laugh lines or crow's feet, or to otherwise rock your natural beauty with pride. In a way, this is a continuation of the general message of this card, because when you proudly embrace your less popularly celebrated traits, you will inspire others to do the same. Conformity is boring. If we all molded ourselves to align with the mind-numbing opinions and standards of the day, we would never evolve, personally or as a culture. What's more, there is a great enrichment and wisdom to be gained by listening to those who have previously been silenced, discounted, or denounced. If you find yourself at a gathering of any kind, seek out the quiet and the shy. Ask them about themselves. Listen to what they have to say. If you feel quiet or shy, don't judge yourself for it. Love and approve of exactly how you feel. Send compassion to yourself and know you are not alone. Give a voice to the voiceless. Offer a platform to those who have been silenced or ignored. Inspire courage in others and summon the audacity to share your uniqueness and shine your magical light. Okay? So I feel like in the way this energy is kind of going into this message here for you is that there may be, because this can also this is talking about conformity and, having those certain beliefs and things of that nature. So this may be, perhaps old ways of thinking, even thoughts that, like if you're someone who does have, let's just say this, someone that has anxiety, and you often have a tendency to kind of go to the negative or very anxious thoughts. Sometimes we can get into a rabbit hole of thinking and thinking and thinking, and we might not feel so grounded during those times. Okay. I do feel like it's important for you, the way that she's kind of embracing this little possum here, is that you do hold compassion towards yourself, and really work towards finding your inner strength and confidence to look within those parts of yourself that are wounded, that need your attention, that need healing, or even, some underlying painful memories from your past that might be causing you to kind of revert back into those old patterns. Okay. And perhaps that is, having other people, because this is talking about talking to others, right? So that might even be something that where if you're feeling like this and you're not able to see something clearly, perhaps it's also helpful for you to have people around you that do love you. Even, friends, family members, that where you feel like, okay, I'm feeling really stuck with this. I don't feel like I'm seeing this clearly. Let me ask another person's opinion. Let me tell them what's going on here and see what their perception of this is, because sometimes it is someone who's not in your situation who can be from the outside and kind of look at it overall to be able to tell you, how they feel. And sometimes, if you're fortunate enough to have one of those friends where they can see your side, but then they also can kind of look at it from a different point of view, that's also really helpful. And to try to bring those types of people into your life that can help you, right? Sometimes we need that extra help with being able to see things clearly. Sometimes we need, that friend that's going to give us a reality check and talk some sense into us, or to help us to see things in a way that we maybe never even would have thought of by ourselves. So let's ask Spirit here what your advice is. What is your advice? Pile 2. What is your advice? We've got the King of Wands, the Seven of Wands, and the Chariot. Okay, with the Seven of Wands here, the Seven of Wands is about facing challenge and adversity. It is also about perseverance, right? So if there is something that you're facing, whatever that situation is that is challenging, for some of you, this might be setting boundaries with a person, with a situation that you're going through. I feel like another thing that could be very helpful for you here too is to really work on building up your confidence in yourself. Your courage, right, to face and even overcome certain fears that you might have. An important piece here with the Chariot energy here, the Chariot is about willpower, determination, focus to overcome, because for some of you, a lot of this thinking might be very fear-based. It could be, feeling certainly a little bit ungrounded and their mind just going and going and going. And so it could be also you kind of setting a boundary with those types of energies. Sometimes, and I know for myself too, because I'm someone that does have anxiety, I live it every day. And I have since I was very, very young, before I was even a teenager, I've had anxiety. So I live it every single day. And I've come a long way with being able to really learn how to keep myself grounded. So even when I have like certain things that'll go through in my life that can cause and be a source of stress, sometimes it will bring me back to that old way of my mind just going crazy with the negative thoughts. And I have to literally tell myself, stop with the thinking like this. And I have to really work really hard to say, we're not doing this. Okay, telling myself, we're not doing this. We're not going down this rabbit hole. And that can certainly be setting boundaries within your own energy, that we're not going to allow these influential thoughts that are confusing us, that are mixing up our mind, to kind of whatever is the source of energy that is creating that you protect your energy, that you kind of set the boundaries. If it is, especially for those where this is a family member or friend, it's you setting those boundaries, saying, no, this energy, I'm not going to let this in right now. I'm not going to allow this to infiltrate my energy. I'm not going to allow this to ruin my day today. And this is you having the willpower and learning how to ground and stabilize your energy and to feel powerful, that I'm not letting it take over me. I'm going to overcome it. I'm not going to let these fears take me down. I'm not going to let this pain do something to me where it creates so much turmoil in my mind and in my heart that I'm going to have the confidence to move through and the inner strength to pull through this energy. Okay, so for some of you, this might, like I said, literally be that you set some strong boundaries with that. You know, like let's just say, for example, you have a friend who's coming in and bringing drama, and you're just like, you know, thinking about the situation, maybe again from a very fear-based way of thinking, confusion and irrational thinking and all kinds of stuff going on, that you acknowledge that and recognize where, you know, it's coming across as a little distorted, right? The first step I feel like for us is to acknowledge, to be self-aware when our mind is kind of taking us in some crazy places, and to really work towards grounding our energy and learn to master it a little better by sitting with those fears and acknowledging that they're there and kind of looking at what the source of it is there. Is there something underlying, you know, that is creating that energy that is influencing us in such a way? The Chariot is about bringing balance to your energy so that, you know, maybe for some of you, this is really grounding. This is spending some time outdoors. This is going for a walk. This is maybe doing an exercise routine to kind of calm your mind. You know, even making a decision to step away, you know, from a situation so that you are able to gain clarity. You are able to feel like, okay, I'm in control of my power, and I am not letting my thoughts kind of go in this direction, so that I am able to see things clearly. And another thing, that if you are someone who does have a lot of fears, that this is you kind of finding your strength within those fears. It is acknowledging what those fears are and being able to heal them. You know, if of course, it could be many different fears that you guys might have. But let's just say if there is a fear of abandonment, and our mind starts kind of going in some crazy directions because of that fear-based thinking that's creating a whole bunch of confusion and distortion within our mind, that at the root of the issue is that fear of abandonment. So let's work on healing that. Okay, so all of you, like I said, it's going to be very different, but the important thing is you acknowledging it, being aware of it, really working towards grounding your energy, slowing down, and keeping yourself self-aware of where the mindset is kind of going, so that you're able to say, no, we're not going down that direction. We're going to keep ourselves grounded, keep ourselves focused, and sometimes we do need to take a step back so that we are able to see clearly, spend some time alone. You know, perhaps maybe some of you might even be in a situation where you have a whole bunch of other people that are trying to get in your business and trying to give you this opinion and that opinion and that, and it's all creating confusion for you, where now you don't even know what to see anymore. And maybe that might also mean setting boundaries with those people and saying, okay, you know what, yes, I appreciate your opinion, but no, I've got to think about this by myself. You take control back. All right, so that is all that I have for you, pile number 2. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 3. So those of you that resonated with the Pumpkin Thief card and the pumpkin, this is going to be your reading today. So we'll look at your message with this card a little bit later. But our topic today is, are you viewing this situation clearly? And then we're going to be getting some advice for you. So let's see what Spirit says for those of you that chose this pile. Are you viewing this situation on your mind clearly, pile 3? Are you viewing this situation clearly? The 4 of Pentacles. the Two of Wands, Justice in reverse. A Tower, the Three of Wands, King of Wands, Page of Swords, and Temperance. Bottom of the deck, you do have the Three of Swords. Okay, so the major arcana here are the Justice card in reverse, the Tower, and the Temperance card. I feel like there is something that's off here, okay? Because we do have Justice in reverse, which is talking about something that is unbalanced. Something that is unbalanced here. And I think I want to clarify that a little bit more. This almost makes me feel that there is something that you're not seeing. You might, because with the starting off with the Four of Pentacles, this could very well be possession, control, attachment. And it kind of looks like with the Three of Wands energy here that there's some type of waiting or anticipation surrounding something. Maybe even for a plan that you have for the future. The Tower energy comes in by divine intervention to help to break down some type of illusion, to give us an epiphany, a wake-up call, a realization of a need for some type of change. And maybe that means releasing something or letting something go. The Page of Swords is a need for us to look at the details, look at the information, because something's unbalanced here. The Justice card in reverse is when something is out of alignment, out of balance, something that's not fair and balanced, something that's not equal. Now that might be your perception of it. Maybe perhaps you're seeing only one side of it, where it's not being weighed out to see it clearly. It could be that there is, say, like one perspective that we have, or we're sticking to that perspective, and there's a need for us to kind of opening up a little bit more. So I want to look at the Justice card here. Why is Justice in reverse? Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords has to do with confusion, conflict, conflicting thoughts or ideas that could be creating confusion. It can also be a card of denial, which means that we're not seeing something clearly here. So it could also be in the way that we're thinking about something, the way in which we're looking at it. Why is the Justice card in reverse? The Nine of Swords. Okay, so this is overthinking here. Overthinking, overanalyzing, that could be creating confusion. It could be creating you to even confusing yourself. Because for some of you, yes, this might be a situation that has to do with, and this is what I told pile 1 and pile 2. It could be a situation that has to do with just you and you alone. And for some of you, this is going to be a situation that does involve someone else, another person, or, you know. So the Nine of Swords is us having anxiety, overthinking, overanalyzing, stressing, worrying. And that in itself can be something that's creating an imbalance here. It could be making you feel confused. Some of you, like I said, it could even be that we're in a place of denial about something that we're not seeing, that Spirit is trying to help to kind of pull the wool over our eyes, to help us to change or shift or let something go. But with the Four of Pentacles here, that, like I said, it's about, this is us clinging onto something, attached to something, gripping onto it. You know, perhaps there's a certain perspective that we have, and it's like we're not budging from it. We're holding on tight to that belief system or that way of looking at something. I do also want to look at the Page of Swords energy here. The Six of Swords. The Wheel of Fortune. And I feel like what Spirit's saying here is that you might be feeling stuck and unclear about this situation, but I feel like what Spirit is trying to get you to acknowledge or to realize is that there is a change that is needed. And this might be you leaving something behind, walking away from something, distancing yourself from a person or a situation to help to bring a shift of energy for you. So it almost looks like you're, for some of you, you could be holding on to a person or a situation that Spirit is trying to guide you to release and move away from, to bring this shift of energy here. Let's look at the Tower. Five of Pentacles. So there could be some insecurities that are here with that Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles can also be when we're kind of in a place of despair. You know, the Five of Pentacles is about financial hardship. It can be about scarcity mindset, poverty consciousness. It can be when we feel like there's a lack of resources. There could be fears of abandonment, fears of rejection, feeling isolated, feeling alone, or loneliness. And so I feel like you could very well be viewing the situation from that mindset. And so this could be what Spirit is trying to help you to move away from. I do want to clarify, and there's the Devil at the bottom, okay? The Devil can certainly be when our emotions manipulate us. This can also be a lot of fear-based thinking. The Devil energy is about lies, manipulation, control. And so it could be that our own thoughts, you know, feelings are doing this to us, or it might even be a person, a situation that is creating this type of energy that we're just kind of trapped in. And the Devil is a very oppressive energy over us. So I want to look at this Four of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, we have the Ten of Swords. You know, and I don't want to say that you're not viewing it correctly or clearly at all. I feel like what Spirit's saying here is that you might fluctuate back and forth between feeling much more grounded and secure, but then these other thoughts come in that distort it. And that might be why we're seeing this Two of Swords here, because the Two of Swords is about having two conflicting thoughts or ideas, or even sometimes more than that. And it's like, on one hand, you could be like, okay, I feel grounded right now. I feel clear. And this is me seeing it clearly. And then inserting that Devil energy, and then it screws things up, messes things up. Then it's like the confusion comes in. The overthinking. Was I wrong to think like this? Maybe it's this way. Maybe it's that way. And so I feel like you might also have a tendency to kind of overthink. And that can kind of also wear you out mentally to the point where you're just like, okay, I don't even know what's real anymore. I don't even know if what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling is even the truth anymore. And I feel all confused and all mixed up. So that's what I'm getting from this. So let's look at the Pumpkin Thief here. And I actually feel like I'm going to have to grab a different deck for you guys to look at your advice. What is number 38? 38 is... It says, you need not forage, steal, or scrounge for money, approval, or love. You deserve the best and are far more capable than you know. Change your paradigm from one of lack to one of plenty and expect an endless stream of wealth in all its many forms. The adorable little pumpkin thief has been skulking around a barren wasteland looking for pumpkins that are not hers to take. She hasn't yet discovered that she holds the power to make her own pumpkins grow in profusion at an accelerated rate on any soil at any time of year. Once realizing her true identity and the magic within, she can cease her habits of snatching and hoarding, opting instead to relax and revel in the boundless power to receive. You too have been operating under an illusion. You have believed that you do not deserve unconditional love and support, that what you desire is hard to come by, or that wealth is for other people but not for you. This is a clear message to change your inner narrative. Love is not outside of you. You are love. You deserve wealth, success, sweetness, joy, beauty, and all other favorable conditions, which are already part of you. Find them within you. Feel grateful for them. Place your awareness on them. This will magnify and turn up the brightness on all the many blessings that are yours to enjoy. This could also be a message about generosity, for when you know you are endlessly blessed, giving is easier and more natural. Conversely, the more you lovingly give, the more you actualize the reality that you are endlessly blessed. What you send out will gather momentum and return to you in waves. Always remember that having more does not equate to being greedy, for love is endless, and the more bounty you receive, the more you have to give. Claim your divine inheritance and birthright. Know that you deserve it all. This will open you up to your boundless supply of every wonderful thing. Okay, so this is saying, yes, you two have been operating under an illusion, and that's what that devil energy is here. Like I said, there's an imbalance here. So to answer the question, are you viewing this situation clearly? No. However, like I said, I do feel like you do have access too. And I feel like you kind of, like I said, fluctuate back and forth between, okay, I feel grounded right now, I can see it clearly, and then in comes the devil energy that brings in the 9 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles, this 2 of Swords energy, the Justice card in reverse, and it just kind of clouds this fogginess and this energy and just kind of makes you, maybe even with the Wheel of Fortune here, kind of go through these cycles that you might find yourself in life. No matter what type of situation it is, that you keep kind of finding yourself in these cycles here of thinking this way, you know, about different types of things, maybe all functioning from this place of lack, you know, whether it's literally material resources, money, or if it has to do with other things such as love, that we feel like we're lacking, but it is coming from this type of consciousness is what Spirit is saying here. Or even under the influence of the devil, which is our ego, the unhealthy aspect of the ego that kind of chimes in and kind of takes our mind in a completely different place that we didn't want to go in. We just want answers. We want to be able to see things clearly so that we can make those decisions clear. So I'm going to use a different deck for you guys and ask Spirit here what your advice is. What is your advice? Pile 3. There's the 5 of Pentacles again. So that might be the advice here, might be working on healing that aspect of yourself, whether it is a rejection wound, an abandonment wound, poverty consciousness, scarcity mindset, insecurities within yourself, self-worth issues. Okay, could be another thing with this energy. The 5 of Pentacles can also talk about feeling the energy of despair, being desperate, which can certainly keep us in a little bit of a lower vibration sometimes. Like we desperately need something or want something. That can be something that is changing the quality of our thoughts as well. We might not be seeing something clearly. What is your advice here? The Ace of Wands, Judgment, and then we have the King of Wands in reverse. So some of you, this might also be working. Well, we do have the Eight of Pentacles here at the bottom. The Eight of Pentacles is about self-mastery, which means that you're actually taking time to work on yourself, right? We're getting better. We're working on committing ourselves to becoming a better version of ourselves. So this is going to be you acknowledging where we can be functioning or thinking from this place and saying, okay, this is something that I have to address. It's something that I have to work on. And this is also feeling inspired to change, inspired to release, inspired to grow, to transform. For some of you, this might also be working on your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth, trying to move away from self-sabotaging types of thoughts. Could also be something that helps you to gain clarity here so that you are able to see things clearly. Clear and sound mind. All right, so that is all that I have for you, pile number 3. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.